wakhale. People let it talk, I let them do it all week. When it's time, better let the man Simo speak. It ain't sweet when you line up in the big leagues, big names and the best teams with the critique. Always on point, better come and grab a good seat. Wakha, wakhoya, wakhale. I ain't got no time to waste, talk ain't cheap. Wakha, wakhoya, wakhale. Wakha, wakhoya, wakhale.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful edition of Simo Speaks. Today I have a special guest. I have my favorite international Arsenal fan, none other than Coach from Shirtless Plantain.
Hey. I'm so happy to be here. So excuse the excitement.
No, let's go, man. And look, let's get straight into it. I said you're my favorite international Arsenal fan. So the first question I want to ask you, what is one of the earliest moments, or what is the first time you can remember the first love you had for Arsenal? Basically, when's the first time you felt real strong emotions towards Arsenal and you knew this was you, this was your club?
Man, that's a heavy question, man. Okay, no, I'll split into two parts. So my earliest memory of Arsenal, I'm probably showing my age here, was Coca-Cola Cup second leg tie at Highbury, and we were playing Aston Villa. Dennis Bergkamp scored, if I'm correctly, but we lost 3-2. Now, it's called the Coca-Cola Cup, but you guys today might know it as the Carabao Cup, right? But that's what it was, a League Cup game, but we lost that game. But I remember, I think Savo Milosevic, right? He scored 2 goals, and I was like, right, like it burned me. And like, even though it was like my first time thinking, I supported this team, and how can we lose this game? But Dennis Bergkamp was Dennis Bergkamp. He's like, to me, he was like the best player ever at the time. You know, my very, very limited knowledge kind of thing. So I held on to a grudge for very long on Savo Milosevic. And yeah, we got our revenge when he moved to Celta Vigo, basically. So like in the 03-04 season, we played them in the Champions League, and he was playing for Celta Vigo, and we beat them over 2 legs. Well, we beat them home and away, I believe. Yeah. So that was, you know, it was a grudge worth holding, I'd say. But when I really, really, really fell in love, it was probably a few years after that, or a couple years probably after that League Cup game where we won the league, and everyone, like, you could identify that team even at a young age because like our best players were like all big black men. Like, you know, we're talking Anelka, we're talking Vieira. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know, so it's just like, I just thought the connection straight away. Ian Wright, you know what I mean? Just thought the connection straight away. So I'd probably say around then. And we had a really dope song as well that, you know, was playing on all the music channels as well when we won the league. So yeah, probably since then.
Hey, perfect. All right, the next one, staying along the long lines of Arsenal. Yeah. Your most memorable IRL moment.
That's hard. There's a few, man. There's a few in real life. Ooh.
Hey, take all the time you need.
I'd probably say one of them. It's crazy. Okay, I'm trying to remember what was my first in real life game, first of all, because that would be probably a good jumping off point. But even then, it's hard. It's probably hard to pinpoint. Okay. This is an early one for me. This is a relatively early one. So, Newcastle away, about God knows how, I can't remember how long we were on the train. Let's say it was minimum of about 4 hours on the train, I want to say.
Okay.
To get up to St. James's Park. We're 4-0 up at half time. And the game finishes 4-4. So that's pretty memorable. After the match, almost got into a fight because somebody tried to put out a cigarette on my Arsenal shirt. That was probably one of the last times I wore an Arsenal shirt. Probably the last time actually I wore an Arsenal shirt to an away match. It's just not worth the hassle, man. Honestly. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's just not worth the hassle. I'm trying to think. Okay, and then after that, man, there's been loads. We beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League. This is a Pep Guardiola managed Bayern Munich, by the way. He beat them 2-0, and the atmosphere that night was absolutely bonkers, man. Like, I can't even.
What was the last Champions League or European match you went to personally that you remember?
It was Bayern Munich.
It was that one, yeah.
Bayern
Munich this year.
Bayern Munich this year, yeah. So yeah, That was good. Stadium is beautiful, man. Allianz Arena is absolutely bonkers, man. That's the Champions League final this year as well. Might want to go back.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That was probably that was a good memory as well. But I'd probably say it's hard. Honestly, there's so many and I say this from an incredibly privileged place. Like, alhamdulillah, I'm very, very grateful. I'm very, very happy for being able to just go to games almost at my leisure. But yeah, I think I've got to throw in a United one as well because I made it to the TV here. So we beat United 3-0 in 15-16 season. And as I'm leaving the game, I'm just getting tons of messages on my WhatsApp and everything saying, oh, you know, he was on TV, right? And I was like, what? And then I'll just see the screenshots of me just looking dissatisfied, basically.
So you weren't happy. You were like the man.
Why are we going for the kill? What's going on there? You know, but yeah, like that was probably that was a good one as well. But yeah, man.
All right, look, almost done with Arsenal of the past. Few more questions. What is your favorite kit? And this one is a two-parter, so obviously favorite Arsenal kit, and then favorite international kit ever.
Oh, okay. I would say favorite Arsenal kit, probably. This is going to be a controversial one, but our last ever night kit, 13-14 season. I think I really, really, really love that kit. Like genuinely love that kit. So yeah,
I'll say my favorite Nike Arsenal kit is 2010-2011. The home one.
Yeah, that's a good one. All red with the white collar and white and the white band on the wrist, basically.
Oh man, there was a player, Marwan Shamak. Oh, he looked so good in that.
To be fair, I think he got 11 goals that season actually, so you might be right.
The only thing I can remember from that season is Henry coming back on loan, Shamak coming off. That was the following. Okay, yeah. The only thing I can remember from that season is Henry coming back on loan, Shamak coming off the pitch, Henry coming on and scoring that goal.
Yeah. And an international kit, that's a pretty easy one. I want to say it's a Nigeria kit, and it's probably our Olympic kit, the home Olympic kit, with the big Nigeria written right across it. That's probably my favorite international kit, I'd say.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Nigeria typically has, I would say, some of the best international.
No, we have been so Nike. I don't think Nike have ever missed with us, to be honest.
No. Yeah. Even if you try to go back and buy like some of the like stuff from the 90s, like they have trench coats, like old like trench coats in Nigeria, and they go for like $400-$500. All right, so the next thing I want to ask you is your all-time Arsenal 11.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna caveat this by saying that this isn't the best Arsenal 11 of all time. It's just my favourite, and I'm acutely aware that some of the selections I made, you know, there'll be, you know, quite a few players that are better than certain players, but it's about the players that I've liked the most and the ones that I've favoured the most. That's it. Like, so I suppose in terms of goalkeepers, this one's a pretty easy one. My favourite Arsenal goalkeeper, hands down, is Jens Lehmann. Like, you know, he came to England and he didn't know what it was like to lose a game for such a long time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy, but he was also such a fantastic, like, even into his latter years, you know what I mean? Like, he was making some ridiculous saves, and he was one of the first keepers I saw to actually really pinpoint his long kicks as well. Like, so he would always aim for our wings, always aim for our wings when he would take a goal kick kind of thing, and it became, you know, a feature of the way we wanted to play. In terms of right back, I'm gonna go Bakary Sagna. Bakary Sagna was just phenomenal, man. Like, very fortunate to have watched him play live, like, you know, countless times. Just solid as a rock, man, and stupidly good in the air. And there was a period of time where he didn't know how to cross, and then all of a sudden he learned how to cross, and then we start scoring a lot more goals from the right wing. So that was always good to see that, you know, an old dog can learn new tricks. Centre backs, Sol Campbell, for sure.
Okay, and what does that have to do? Does that have to do with stealing him?
Oh, yeah, of course. So you had to be around at the time because there was no real indication, to my mind at least, that he was coming to Arsenal kind of thing. So it was generally one of the biggest shocks that I've personally like witnessed in football, because it came out of nowhere, like it just like an RKO, like it just didn't see it coming, man. So yeah, and then the other centre back, this could be a bit tricky, I want to say.
Is it going to be a more modern one? Somebody currently still playing?
No, they're probably not still playing actually. No, so I'll probably say if we're talking favorite, bro, talking favorite, I'm gonna go Mertesacker. Yeah, he was one of those players that, like, you really have to appreciate what it means to be a good defender, to be a good centre back, and it's not just because of how somebody looks. That he was genuinely one of the smartest centre backs I've seen in England in terms of organising the defence as well. Like, he was just, put it like this: there was no real danger for Mertesacker in terms of being caught out for his lack of pace, because he always positioned himself quite well. Like,
I get what you mean.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, and obviously he was fantastic in the air, just because, apart from that one weird picture at Anfield that one night. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, left back Ashley Cole. Like, there's nothing to discuss. Ashley Cole is to me the best left back of all time, and I will absolutely plant my flag on this hill. He never ever was as good at Chelsea as he was at Arsenal. I've seen the tapes, right? And regardless of what he won at Chelsea, the only thing that he won more at Chelsea that he didn't win at Arsenal was a Champions League. He won FA Cups at Arsenal. He won Premier League titles at Arsenal, kind of thing. And his performance levels, maybe he playing in a better defensive unit because Mourinho was a terrorist and whatever else, kind of thing. And, all the other managers that came after as well, kind of thing, were always a bit more, slightly more defensive minded. Like, the levels he set at Arsenal, he was already the best left back in the world before he left Arsenal, like, comfortably. About 2-3 years before he left Arsenal, to me, he was the best left back in the world.
I think he eats off of pocketing CR Thanos at Chelsea that one time, and that carries a lot of his good PR for him.
Yeah, it does as well, but also the fact that he was just a bloody good defender. Like, you don't play in a team, especially on that left side of the pitch with technical animals, with Henry and Perez, and even Vieira. He didn't look out of place. He was fine there. Which leads me on to the next point. Favorite on the left, Robert Perez. There's, again, I don't want to hear about all these other flary attacking midfielders, your David Silva, Hero Ross. Robert Perez is all their dads. That's it. He's just the man in it. That side of the pitch as well, again, Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira, to me, is probably one of the most underrated players ever, because of, I want to say, he got this label of being a DM for such a long time, and it was just very frustrating for someone like me that would watch the game and think, how can this guy be a defensive midfielder when we have Gilberto Silva playing next to him? Like, why do people keep calling him this? It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, there was not a single thing he couldn't do on a football pitch. Like, for me, the guy next to him is probably not going to be Gilberto Silva, not because I think this person's better than Gilberto Silva. It's just, again, we're talking about favourites, and it's Aaron Ramsey, and he's someone that splits opinions. But Aaron Ramsey, the best compliment I can give Aaron Ramsey is that no matter what team or midfield he played in, he always made his mark, and he never hid. There's plenty of players that played for Arsenal that have had more pretty and technical ability, but I don't ever feel like he was, outperformed by a lot of these players,
Just from me watching, games here and there at that time, very consistent. You knew what you were going to get every single time. A consistent, like, I'd say 7.5, 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
week in and week out.
I think a 7.5 out of 10 is probably fair. Like, and when he had a good game, he literally could not be fucking touched. Like, when he was just that good. On the right hand side of the pitch, again, very controversial, Theo Walcott. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, in terms of big games, he's probably been one of the best big game players Arsenal have had in the Premier League era. There wasn't a single team at home or in Europe he didn't score against. Like, you can check the tapes. You can see the tapes. I was at most of those games. Like, I know what I saw. You know what I'm saying? The front two pick itself, it's Henry and Bergkamp. Nothing to say there. There's nothing to say there, man. Like,
Jordan shrug. That's it.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing to say there. So yeah, man.
All right. Moving on to something a little bit more depressing. Biggest flop signing post-Wenger. This includes a known terrorist that was at your club that you are not a big fan of. So this includes his signings too. So who is the biggest flop signing post-Wenger?
Biggest flop signing? Man, I'm going to say, just for the money paid and the return that we got. Wait, post-Wenger? Oh, no, he was a Wenger signing as well, actually. Gosh. Okay, I want to be fair. It was probably Nicolas Pepe, but I love Nicolas Pepe.
No, class player. AFCON champion.
Yeah, exactly. AFCON champion as well. You know what I'm saying? But again, you can't dictate what is paid for a player. But for 72 million, I wanted someone that could play in settled play rather than just on the counter. And he struggled in settled play. So yeah.
Fair enough. And who is your favorite signing post Wenger? So now, who is somebody you are happy to have signed?
William Saliba, man.
Yeah,
He's just the fucking best. Like.
Rolls Royce, huh?
He's just the best, honestly. Like, yeah.
So you would say Saliba over Odegaard in terms of signing for you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, like Odegaard. Don't get me wrong. I've been a fan of Odegaard. Like, big fan of Odegaard. That.
But what Saliba brings is just next level.
Saliba is so good at what he does that I don't worry about who plays next to him. Even though I know Gabriel is fantastic, I don't care who plays next to William Saliba. I actually don't. That's how good William Saliba is to me. So
let's keep on talking about William Saliba and not caring about who plays next to him because we know he'll be all right. What are your predictions for this upcoming season? I want to start off with the first question. Any players that need to take the next steps for you?
Players that need to take the next steps, Martinelli for sure, Gabby Jesus as well. A bit controversial because I really do like him, but I think we can get even more out of Havertz. Yeah, it's not that I don't think he hasn't performed well, but I think we can get even more out of him. So I'm looking at him to make another jump. I think that's fair. I think that's it because everybody else, to me they're kind of stamped already. You already know what they're going to get. So
yeah, you think everybody else is they are where they need to be at, or that's their level, that's their ceiling.
Actually, to be fair, to get a bit nerdy, on the last Arsenal pod, we spoke about Declan Rice and, you know, he's passing and he's receiving and stuff. I'd like to see a bit more from him in that regard, you know, taking the ball from our centre-backs in awkward positions a bit more, even if he's got to bounce it back to them, but it just moves players over, basically, and it's good, you know, that encourages people to press you, and then when people press you, automatically there's going to be space somewhere else, so... Yeah, I'd like to see him be a bit braver doing that kind of thing, I think, for me. It's good to talk up your team, but also you've got to absolutely follow it with something. I think, again, no bias, I think the most potent and probably the best example in the history of football, I think, is Arsene Wenger was telling his players and telling the press he thinks we can go through the season unbeaten, right? And they all laughed at him. They quite literally, not a meme, but they quite literally called him a madman. And the following season, he went the whole season unbeaten. And then he took a shirt from someone from the crowd that had his face on it and the quote basically saying comical Wenger, basically, like they were mocking him, basically. And he just held it up to the camera. And it's one of the best pictures in football ever. And that's what it means to talk a team up and then back it up, basically. And Erik Ten Hag, it's not that I don't think that he can, even though deep down I probably think he'll probably make Champions League, I want to say. Maybe he'll make Champions League, but then I think that's probably as far as he goes with United, I think someone else will take United further.
All right. I want to ask you, what are your expectations for this season? We do know that you obviously want to win it all, right? But more specifically, what are some points you want to make sure you hit? And on top of that, what are the teams you want to face, you're excited to face?
So my expectation is more of the same, basically, from last year. Push City all the way to the last day, which is what we did. Like, and I'm not saying, I want us to do exactly that, but I'm saying, regardless of what happens, we cannot let City breathe, which I think we did a good job of. City on the final day, they went 1-0 up within 30 seconds. Okay, cool. That's fine. You can't really do anything about it. But up until that point, the league wasn't one for them. You see what I'm saying? So my expectations for Arsenal to be the team to win the league if City are not going to win it, basically. And that's, I think that's entirely fair. I think in terms of us actually winning it, yeah, I want us to win it kind of thing. Do I expect us to win it? A little bit, yes, but mostly no, because Pep is a weirdo and he's just a sick man. But I expect us to get in and around 90 points, like 89, anywhere between 89 to 92 points. I think Arsenal I think that's achievable for Arsenal. Whether that will win us the league or not, God knows, but I think that's a very respectable return if you're trying to win the league,
Hey, fair enough. And what teams, obviously we know, Tottenham, Chelsea, you want to see, but are there any teams that you specifically have a bone to pick with and you want to face this season?
Yeah,
like you are excited to face?
it's Newcastle every year for sure. Like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah?
yeah, fuck Jason Tyndall. Aston Villa for sure as well. West Ham for sure. Fulham, absolutely. Any team that took points of us last season, basically, I really want it. And it's a funny thing because people don't believe it, but Arteta is a very spiteful man, like, and he remembers these things. So a team that does us that, you know, that might have beaten us the season before, earlier in the season kind of thing, he will make sure the following game, Arsenal don't just win, but we win well. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah,
He'll have the slideshow up, like in the all or nothing, showing this tweets.
And there's evidence to prove that West Ham, you know, drew of us 2-2 kind of thing last season, and they beat us 2-0 this season at the Emirates, and then we went to the London Stadium. I was there for that, and we beat them 6-0. So, you know, Newcastle stole 3 points off us, and in the next game we played them, we beat them 4-1. Like, it's a recurring theme, you know. So yeah, all the teams that took points of us, I'm scared for them this season. For sure.
Okay. I like to hear that. All right, and the last question to wrap it all up I have for you is, finally got to meet you face to face a few weeks ago at Legends Bar NYC for the Shirtless Plantain live show. So the question I have for you is, what has been your most favorite moment so far with the Shirtless Plantain show?
Probably that. Like, I think that's the easy answer, because we started this in like 2018, and it was just an idea that we all had. Basically, it was just, okay, let's just put this. We talk so much football in the group chat, and we make so many jokes. Why not just put this on wax? Why not just put it on for people to see, kind of thing, and see what happens with it? And, you know, Tosin is very front facing, and, you know, he's very outgoing and shit. He can be the host. He's good at that shit, kind of thing. And we'll see where it goes, kind of thing. And then for it to lead to people buying merchandise, you know, and then, you know, someone recognizing, oh, do you know what? These guys are quite good. Like, how about we enlist them to do a live show for us, kind of thing? And then people actually turn up. It's pretty damn man. Like, all of us have full-time jobs, like very, very demanding full-time jobs. Like, and I don't mean that to say like in a bragging way. I just mean that in a sense that we put a lot into this, and it's not like it's the only thing that we do. We have very like high levels of commitment to other things, kind of thing. And it was just nice to meet so many of these people. Like listen, like meeting you was just incredible. I didn't know you was that tall, by the way. But and then just all the nice words, and like the fact that, you know, people were really engaging with the shit that was doing on the day, and, you know, like bringing up stuff that we had said on the podcast before. It was just a very lovely moment. I have to say, you know, if I had to pick one favorite moment, it was probably the fact that you gave me 2 kufis. Like, that shit, like, I told everyone. I told my aunt, told my mom, I told my fiance. I was telling everyone. I was like, can you see this shit? Like, these shits are so pretty as well, man. Like, so yeah.
Hey, look, you sent the socks. You sent the socks to me last year on Eid, and you told me, I like your kufi. Where can I get one? I looked online. I was like, shipping would have to be like $300. I'm gonna make it happen. Next time I see you, I got you with a pair. And as for the height thing, I downplay my height online to seem more relatable to people.
Yeah. Tosin does the same thing as well, to be fair. Well, actually, no, he doesn't. Yeah.
No, he will dunk on you and tell you in the tweet, by the way, I'm 6'4", I just did this.
Yeah.
Coach, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. It's been wonderful. Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. I'm Coach from the Shirtless Plantain Show. You can find us, The Plantain Show, on Twitter, Shirtless Plantain Show on TikTok and Instagram. Follow all them shits up. Yeah, I won't plug my personal because it is what it is. Like, it's all about the Plantain Show, people. So yeah.
All right, I'll put the links in the bio so everyone can get them there. Be sure to check them out. One of my favorites right now.
Yeah. Peace.
وخليه People let it talk, I let them do it all week. When it's time, better let the man Simo speak. It ain't sweet when you line up in the big leagues, big names and the best teams with the critique. Always on point, better come and grab a good seat. وخليه I ain't got no time to waste, talk ain't cheap. وخليه وخليه